Evening, everybody. Just turning my phone off. Happy 5th of June to you all, and a very, very warm welcome to my Monday night live crafting. And a very, very happy hello to anyone who's watching on Facebook. So I have finally had my Facebook account restored, and I couldn't be happier. Absolutely thrilled, because I thought I'd lost all of my following and all of my Facebook business, which is where I get a lot of my customers from. So I'm thrilled that we have been able to get it back, and a really, really happy hello to you if you're watching on there. So tonight I am going to have a little play with something we did at Coffee and Card today. It was a lovely coffee and card. It was really busy, which is always nice, and it was lovely to do a lot of stamping, which is quite unusual for me. There's not always that amount of stamping involved, but today there was a lot, and it was lovely, really, really nice. So thank you to everyone who came along. Sorry to those of you that couldn't make it, but hopefully you can join us next time. So I'm going to share with you a couple of designs from Coffee and Card, and we'll have a little chat and we'll craft along, and we'll see where the evening takes us. If you're watching along live, do add your comments and questions as we go along, and I'll try and keep up. If you're watching back on the replay, still add your comments and questions, and I'll try and keep an eye out for those and come back to you. As always, anything that I'm going to use is available to purchase from my online store, and you can find that at staceymarsh.co.uk. And I think that's it. So let's do a little bit of crafting. Now, I've not actually cleaned my grid paper for this live, because one, I think it's really pretty, and two, just a bit lazy. So let's make a little start, and I'm sure you will all forgive me for not using a fresh piece of grid paper. So here we go. Okay, so here is my messy piece of grid paper from the last time that I was live with you all, which was Thursday last week, which feels a really long time ago, but actually it wasn't very long at all. So for today's Coffee and Card, we used all of these colours. Look at these lovely colours that we used. Oh, not this one. We didn't use that one in the end. I'll put that one back. So we used 8 different colours in today's Coffee and Card, a variety of different purples in varying different shades, starting with some existing colours. So these are our existing colours on the left. We've got Balmy Blue, Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather and Blackberry Bliss. And then new on returning colours, we've got Berry Burst, Boho Blue, Fresh Freesia and Orchid Oasis. So just look at all those colours that we used. And there was no rhyme or reason as to why I used all these colours. It was just a case of this morning when I was preparing or designing the project for today's session, I just kept pulling them out, and I'm really pleased with the finished look. So this is the finishing look, and I'm going to show you how we put these cards together, and they really are a joy to put together, these cards. They've been put together with the textured floral stamp set, which I shared in Thursday's live video. It's in the new annual catalogue, this one here, and you'll find it on page 65. And it's a photopolymer stamp set, so it's clear, and it has the option to purchase it with dies, and it's a really lovely detailed image stamp. So let's do a little bit of crafting, and I'll show you how I made this. I've also got another design in my head that I might put together, but we'll see what happens as we get started. So I can already feel my desk is closing in on me. So let's just make a little space. That's better. So I'm going to put them in front of me so I know what I'm doing. And let's cut a couple of card bases to kick us off. I'm going to start with the white one. So I already have my white card base, and this is just plain old basic white card. Actually, this is thick. It's not plain old. It's thick basic white card, and I'm going to cut myself a couple of little layers. Oh, charging cable's just come down. A couple of little layers of white card for this, and this is regular white card. Evening, Caroline, to you. Watching it on my big TV. Oh, I feel a bit special. Glad to have you back. Do you know what? I've been here all along. It's just Facebook that put me into a bit of an apocalypse. And I'm not going to talk about that because it's really dull, really boring, and it's taken up far too much of my energy already. And Louise, hope you're well. I am very well, thank you. I hope you're well too. So I'm going to start with a little bit of simple stamping. And I'm going to use nearly all of the images in this stamp set. So one is my inside and one is my outside. So I'm going to start with my outside. And I always like to start when I'm doing some simple stamping with the biggest image. So I'm going to start with this big flower, which is this one here. And this is Berry Burst. I'm going to put a little one up there and a little one down here. Now, when you stamp with this for the first time, it's not a block image. It's not a solid image. And I'll just raise it up so you can see that. It's got darker places. It's got lighter places. And the reason for that is it's a distinctive stamp set, which means that there's sort of texture built into the image, which is really clever. And I'd love to know how they do it. But yeah, so when you stamp it for the first time, don't panic when it doesn't stamp a sort of solid image. That's just what it should look like. And then this one, I'm not using green for my leaves. I am using Boho Blue and Orchid Oasis. So for this one, I'm going to stamp this sort of large leaf sort of image. One there. And then I'm going to put another one up here, like so. Okay. And I love those two colours together. They are really, really pretty. Okay. And then I'm just going to build up my scene around it. Now, when I did a card on last week's live, I just stamped the flowers themselves. I didn't use any of the detailed image. So let's now put this in. So this is my stamens for the centre of this flower. I'm going to stamp this in Blackberry Bliss, which is a really nice deep purple colour. It's almost black. It's quite usable. Is the Berry Burst a more usable colour than Rich Razzleberry? So I'll let you into a little secret. I think in the whole time that I had my Rich Razzleberry ink pad, I probably used it twice, maybe 3 times. It was not a colour for me, but I really like Berry Burst. Actually, when you compare the two, there's not a lot in it, so it's probably just me being fussy. But yes, I do like Berry Burst. Okay. Next up, we've got Fresh Freesia, which is a returning colour from the 2021 to 2023 in colours. So that's stamped in Fresh Freesia. And I'm going to go to Highland Heather. Okay, so for Highland Heather, I'm going to stamp me some little detail inside. And this lines up really, really nicely. So all I'm doing is I'm mixing and matching. There's not a lot of thought behind it other than I'm just stamping with some colours. And I've chosen sort of different shades of purple. Okay, next I'm going to go in with this flower, which is this one here. And I'm going to stamp that one in Highland Heather. So it's just changing the tones all the time. And then the centre of this one is going to be Gorgeous Grape. Okay. There we go. And then all I've got left to do for this is some other leaves, which is this one here. And the colour I'm using for this is Orchid Oasis, which is one of our new colours. Okay, I'm just going to stamp that down there. And I'm going to put this one, put that one in there. And let's have another one of those over here. Just a little bit of it. Okay. Now there's quite a lot of white space going on there. And for those of you that know me know that I like white space, but I also like to fill the white space. And now I've got some balmy blue and I've got this dotty effect. So I'm going to add my ink, stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp this on. And this just gives us a bit of, just covers up some of that white. And you can barely see it on screen. I lift that up. No, you can, that's not really very noticeable, but it's noticeable to me, so I can see that. So that's that one. And then I'm going to do my inside piece. So my inside of my card. And this looks like, yeah, it does. Right. So my sentiments on this are stamped in Blackberry Bliss. And I'm going to stamp the word birthday blooms for you. Hi, Carol. Thanks for joining us tonight, and that's just going to go in the centre. We are doing some simple stamping with the textured floral stamp set, which I'm a big fan of. And let's go back over this. So let's do some balmy blue, some dots. Add your ink, stamp off, and by stamping off, you just get a different tone of that colour. So it's just another way to bring different shades into your cards. Let's add this one here. And I want Highland Heather. Let's stamp that placenta. And then I'm going to stamp this one here. And I really love how this sort of Orchid Oasis and this boho blue really brings everything together. Okay, so now I've done that, I can stick this into my card. Just going to give myself a new glue. Gotta love a new glue. Oh, it's coming out quite quickly. Right, so take my card base and let's stick this inside. And that's a really pretty sentiment from inside this card. And then this is our next layer. So that's going to go just on the front. Okay, there we have it. Super pretty. Really love those colours. And now we can do a little bit of decorating on the front because it needs a sentiment. I'm going to cut myself a label die. So I'm going to use this one here, which is the Countryside Corner dies. They are also in the mini catalogue and they're proving really popular actually. I've used them on a lot of different things and I'm not bored of them yet, which is always a good sign. So that's given me this lovely shape. Okay, and I'm going to stamp our sentiment. The sentiment I'm using is "Every thought of you makes me smile," which is a really sweet sentiment. I'm stamping this in Blackberry Bliss. And then we can add that to the card. And I'm going to put this on with a couple of dimensionals just to raise it slightly. And always use your edge pieces of your dimensionals. just pop that there. And then to bring that together, we've got some gems, which are here. So these are the Glossy Dots assortment, and these come in four different colours. You've got blue, yellow, pink and purple. So these go really nicely with this colour palette that I've used. And I'm going to stick just a couple on. Okay. Like so. Okay, and that's my first card all finished. Do let me know what you think in the comments. The beautiful set is on my list. It is a beautiful set, isn't it? It's really, really pretty. Okay, so that's my first card. So here's the one I did this morning as my sample, and here's the one we've just put together now. And you'll see, apart from the location of the two big flowers, my stamping's a bit different, and it doesn't really matter, does it? It really doesn't make much difference at all. So it's a great stamp set where you can just be free to just do your stamping and see what you end up with. Okay, so my next card, the one that we made, looks like this. And the idea is very, very similar. I love the detail inside of this. So pretty. The detail on this is very, very similar. And I will show you how I put this card together. So I first of all want a card base cut from Fresh Freesia. So that's 10.5 centimetres by 14.9. We want that bit. And then I want another layer that is 14.4 centimetres by 10 centimetres. There we go. And then I want a piece of white. Let's see if I can get this out here. No, it's a bit too small, so we'll use that for my stamping. And we want a piece of white for inside. That I just did? No, that was 10. Oh, it is 10 I want, dear. By 14.4. Right. I'm cooking with gas now. So the first thing we're going to do is this piece here. I'm going to run through this cable weave embossing folder, which is a lovely, lovely embossing folder. It's a returning one. So it's in the main catalogue, but we have had it previously. It's not new. And it's a 3D embossing folder, so it gives a really deep embossed effect. Open this up. And give this a nice little crease. This layer can get stuck down onto the front straight away. And then let's do a little bit of stamping. So I'm going to do the inside of this card. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this Birthday Blooms for You sentiment. So that's going in the bottom right hand corner. Really do love how Blackberry Bliss stamps. And then again, we're going to start with our biggest image. And the biggest image is in Berry Burst. our little stamens in, and then we can build up our flowers around it. And I'm just stamping over one another. I'm not masking it off. It's just stamping nicely. And it's just overlapping everything, which is a really nice technique in itself. And this one here, I'm going to pop in about there. And we can stick this piece inside the card. Okay, so that's the inside of our card, and now we've got to do the outside. So I've just got a scrap of white here, and I'm going to stamp all of my flowers again, which I probably could have done a moment ago, but hey, we're here for the evening. And I'm not normally a fan of sort of purple shades, but what I like about this, I think just adding in the blues, it just gives a different sort of spin on it. And yes, I am going to cut these flowers out because I have not purchased the dies with this set. I've just purchased the stamp set. And then what else do I need? I need this one in the middle. And I want this lovely blue one. And then I want this Orchid Oasis leaf. Right, so now my job is to cut these out. So let's just trim them round a little bit. Here we go. So now let's just spend a moment or two cutting this out. If you had the dies, you could just quickly whiz these through the cut and emboss machine. I am really enjoying at the moment playing with different colour combinations. Has anyone found any colour combinations that they like with the new colours? With any of the new colours? It's quite nice to sort of see how they fit with what we've already got. Just following these around. So you'll see that I'm leaving a little white border showing. And it just makes it a little bit neater. And you get the sort of impression that they've been cut out with the dies, because the dies would leave that little white border as well. So, I think these would look really nice in sort of varieties of oranges as well. Sort of calypso coral, pumpkin pie, Cajun craze, and even sort of copper clay. The oranges would look really, really nice. It's also a great way to showcase all the different shades of a certain colour as well. So all the different shades of purple, all the different shades of orange, of red. We've got quite a few reds now. And even adding in a contrasting tone, like the Orchid Oasis is very contrasting. So, one more, which is the big flower. Sit halfway there now on this flower, and then we are done. Perfect, all done. Right, so I've just got to cut out another one of those lovely banners, because I've used the same banner. So just bear with me a moment. Let's have a little look. Right, so here is my banner, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment on here in Blackberry Bliss. I'm using the same one, Every Thought of You Makes Me Smile, because we've got the birthday sentiment inside. Okay, so let's bring this in. I'm going to stick this down with some dimensionals. I've just finished my sheet now. And then we can start to add the flowers. Now, do I need another sheet of dimensionals? I do. Here they are. So let's put a little one on here. And I've got this blue. This is the leaf that's going to go under the bottom of this flower. It's so pretty. And then up here we can add some of these on. I'm just layering this all around. Let's put this in here to start us off. I'm just going to stick this down flat. And this other little flower. And then you'll notice on here I've got this little add-on piece, and this is a die that's from the Dainty Delight dies. So I'm going to cut this out now. This comes out really nicely, actually. I really like this little die. I'm going to snip off the end. And then that is just going in there, like so. And then to bring it all together, I've got a couple of little gems. So this is, again, we're going back to our Glossy Dots assortment. And these are just going to get stuck down. 2 little gems. Actually, I'm going to do 3 because they're 3 different sizes, and I'm going to put one over here. And that's it. That is card number 2 done. And I'm just going to whip up another one for you with quite a nice little technique. So I'm going to bring in some white card. Or should I do fresh freesia? No, let's do white card. So I've got 10 by 14.4. And then I did want to use the masking sheets, but let's see if I can find them. It's been a little while since I've seen them. You know, when you put something really, really safe and then it disappears. These are my masking sheets that do this. So instead, I'm going to use a Post-it note. Okay. So my little Post-it note, I am going to put across my card, like so. Actually, let's do it lengthways. I'm going to do it one there. And these are clear Post-it notes, so you probably can't see them very well, but I know they're there. Let's just put that on across there. And now let's bring our stamps back in. Okay, so the idea is I've masked off that sort of area, and I'm going to create a little bit of a straight line with that edge. Okay. And then go into header. That's it. And then, so if we've got the masking paper, it works a lot better than this, but we are just using what we've got in our stash. Let's add in a bit of this leaf, and I'm going to be a bit selective with this. So, and then let's bring that in there. Okay. So then I'm going to peel this off now. Carefully, and what you get is a beautifully stamped edge. Can you see that? Like so. It's really, really lovely. So I'm going to stamp this nice sentiment now. Every thought of you Makes me smile. That's going in there. And then I'm going to turn this around. Let's put this away. So this post-it is all attached. I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to put this down there. Okay. I'm going to give that just a little wipe with a tissue because I want to get that excess ink off. You could use new post-its, but this is the stingy part of me. This is the frugal part of me. And then we go again. That's it. Let me know if you've tried this technique and you like it, or if you've never seen it before. That's the wrong one. It's because I didn't put the ink pad back with the stamp. And then I want this nice Highland Heather again. Little way, silly me. How are we doing? Are we all still hanging in there? So let's have a bit of boho blue. I'm just going to ask if you could reuse that post-it. So yeah, these post-its, they are got a sort of shine to them. So I do think there's an element of reusing them. There's one thing I've not done. I've not done my statements, and I'm going to leave them because I'm worried of ruining this. Now I'm just going to peel this off. So these post-its I just get from Amazon, and they are clear and they've got a sheen on, so like that you can see that it's wiped, so you could probably put that to one side and you could reuse it. And yeah, they're just Amazon post-its. Look, isn't that pretty? Really, really nice. I'm going to try and do that actually, put the stainers in. It doesn't look quite right without them. Let's just reattach that. And then I want Blackberry Bliss. Yeah. Oh. It's stuck down to my grid paper. That's it. Stick that there. And then I want one of these in there. One of these in there. Oh, that's pretty good actually. That's pretty good. And then up here, I want another one. Okay, so I'm going to take that off, pop it on my stamp set. And then now we can put this on a card. So I've got here a piece of white. So let's do 10.5. By 14.9. Little score. And then we can put that on there like so. Every thought of you makes me smile. And then I've just got to put a piece inside to make it all feel like it's evenly weighted. You like the technique and you've never seen it before. Wow, I'm very impressed with that. And I'm glad you like it. So you can purchase the Stampin' Up! Notepad masking paper and it will do the job as well. But I can't seem to find mine. I'm going to leave this one blank because it's a nice sentiment on the front is a nice reason to send a card, just because you don't necessarily need anything else. And that is just a card base and 2 layers of card with just flat stamping. There's no height to that at all, but it's a really lovely card. So there are my 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. And I feel like this stamp set I could just keep going. I really do. So those are my cards that I've made with you guys today. And then just to show you some others that I've made with this stamp set. So this is one that I did last week. I did it on a reel and it's got a few of the colours. It's got the Orchid Oasis. Oh no, this is Starry Sky. So that's Starry Sky and that's Orchid Oasis. So Orchid Oasis is a little bit more purple. Berry Burst is still there. But on this one, I've used Bubble Bath. And then on these ones, I don't want to see that one. These are sort of more bright colours. So this stamp set, there really is so many different options with it. And you could just keep stamping. And I still don't feel done. So I do hope that you enjoyed my presentation or my demonstration or just my stamping tonight. If you have any comments or questions about anything I've used, I'm just going to change cameras. Yeah, so here I am. If you have any comments or questions about anything I've used, please do pop them in the comments or do get in touch with me via my website. Everything I've used is available to purchase from my online store. The stamps that I've used is £23 and it's going to be around for a little while. So do add that to your wish list or your basket if you enjoy what I've made tonight. And that's it from me. So I will be live again on Thursday at midday here. So same place, different time. And I will be live with you next Monday evening at 8 o'clock again as well. So I do hope you can join me and I hope you have a really, really enjoyable week. So that's it from me and I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.